Well, it looks like some pretty bad news for Netflix continues to bubble from the debacle that was the film that, well, a lot of people felt really uncomfortable about. A film that was described as outlandish, now, which was, of course, the Cuties of Variety. And there's actually been a pending lawsuit which has some very, very strong wording in it. And they just got blindsided by four more accounts or counts apparently put on. And Netflix is asking for help from the Fed to get the lawsuit dropped. Although the backlash for this film continues to rage on. This came out on March 10th on the Hollywood Reporter. Netflix takes on Texas. Attorneys analyze the, quote, outlandish battle over the film. A district attorney in Tyler County, Texas, claims Netflix's film amounts to, the letter, exactly what some people thought it was. His labyrinthine prosecution will force a federal court to grapple with whether it should intervene and stop the criminal case. Netflix is asking Texas federal court to get the, quote, spider off its back. The streamer says Tyler County District Attorney Lucas Babin, a former actor best known for his role in Spider as Spider in the School of Rock, is taking advantage of his power, and the court needs to intervene. The issue stems from Netflix's 2020 release of the French film, a coming-of-age story, allegedly, about a Senegalese immigrant who joins a dance group and has lots of zoom-in images of, well, look, I want to be clear. I think the film was messed up. I think that it should have been handled very differently. I think you can absolutely make that same film and you can make all the same points without having, people that young twerking and doing all this other stuff that was like a little bizarre to be putting on camera. I don't think you need all of that to make that point. Do I think the film is precisely, the letter C and the letter P? I do not. Do I think that the film is enjoyed by people who enjoy that? Yes, I do. I do believe they enjoy it greatly. The idea that, this film should be illegal or outlawed, I don't know if I would go that far. I'm not saying I disagree with it, but I do question, like, look, it's still art and by some definitions. And, censorship is a risky thing. I prefer kind of the open market take care of it in the method of people deciding to just leave Netflix. Lots of people did cancel Netflix over it. The movie intended to criticize the hyper-spicification of young ones, garnered widespread acclaim at Sundance. By the way, the creator of Sundance is also serving time for possessing just those kind of videos that you might be thinking. I think twice convicted. Or it was spending time with a very young person. I think it was one of those two things. Anyway, it became controversial for showing these type of dance moves and also the poster that they put out to advertise the film. The controversy culminated in Babin charging Netflix for promoting terrible things, content that depicts, exactly what you might think. What has happened in a year and a half that followed led to Netflix taking the rare step of seeking a federal court's intervention to stop the prosecution. The streamer argues that Babin is knowingly pursuing a losing case to be mean to them. Quote, it's an insane overreach, says Duncan Levin, a former federal and state prosecutor who's now a partner at criminal defense firm Tucker Levin. He's misusing the power of his office to chill free speech. Yeah, I mean, normally I'm just going to flat out defend free speech, but, some free speech is better than other free speech. I'm saying I'm not advocating the movie to be banned. I'm just advocating people, stop giving their money. Netflix is a private company and they can put out whatever content they want. Just know that the $12, a portion of the $12 or $15 you pay them per month is going towards producing movies like this. And then ask yourself if that's okay. And if you're okay with that, fine. If you're not, also fine. Now, the argument lies So the Texas First District Court of Appeals concluded that the law is too broad, and there's other interesting things here. Just days before the hearing, Babin on Thursday blindsided Netflix with 4 new indictments, according to the streamer's complaint. Babin used the extra 4 months to covertly convene a grand jury and charge Netflix, this time with different laws and more, harsher ones. Quote, Babin's real purpose for seeking a delay in hearing on Netflix's habeas petition, and despite Texas's Code of Criminal Procedure is clearly directive to issue such relief without delay, was a purposeful effort to deprive Netflix of its day in court and offer inevitable and favorable judgment that the statute is facially unconstitutional and to chill Netflix's public free speech rights, reads Netflix's filing. I don't know. I'm not sure that I think it's necessarily a free speech issue. I think it's probably more is the content that you produced, legal in the eyes of Texas state law? I suspect it will probably be. It probably will be. I don't know. There's definitely some very concerning things, but intent should matter. Did Netflix intend to make a film for the creepiest people on the planet? I guess I'd have to see evidence of that. Were there things in that film that just shouldn't that they could have easily not included? I believe so. What was their decision? Why did they want to keep that kind of stuff in there? It's up to, they'd have to describe that. I guess they'd have to tell me why. If you remember at the time, the film itself garnered massive backlash after it was marketed in like kind of a provocative way. Somebody made that decision and somebody made that tweet. If you remember, like the poster they used, the images they used were highly suggestive. And that was done on purpose by Netflix and like somebody in Netflix marketing. So, I don't know. I can't speak to their intentions, to be honest. I really can't. Netflix is asking the federal court to help them get out of this suit. I don't know. Enough is enough. Placed in the district court docket by Dallas offices and law firm Center Arnett PLLC, Netflix does not invoke the court jurisdiction lightly. Netflix recognizes that federal courts do not often entertain suits to enjoin state criminal actions and acknowledge the extraordinary nature of this action and remedies Netflix seeks. This is, however, an extraordinary case, they say, and the prosecution's singular bad faith effort to pursue Netflix for exercising its free speech and petition rights under the First Amendment on trumped-up charges that he cannot prove as a matter of law require. Essentially what they're saying is, Dad, hey, bigger court, can you come in and dismiss this suit in a lower court? I suspect they won't do it. Did he bring the lawsuit for political points? Probably, which is not a good thing. But then again, maybe I wouldn't hate seeing somebody from Netflix defend some of the situation. I think that while a fictional film, I think that it does toe some lines. Again, I don't think the film should be banned. I'm not sure I'm not sure that I would agree with somebody calling it, that kind of thing, that kind of inflammatory. That should be a pretty hard standard to kind of prove. And I don't know. If you remember this film, this film has haunted them all the way back from September 2020. It's haunted them. It's haunted them nonstop. This is a movie that had 125,000 people go and leave a review of 1 star. 125,000 1-star reviews. The backlash from this film is not an isolated incident. Now, critics gave it an 88%. But these are all people that work with the worst kind of nonsense available. You know, it still has a 16% from the audience, which is curious. I think you could tell this story without kind of the hyper zoomed in shots of them dancing and all this kind of stuff. I think it does kind of objectify these kids in a way that is predatory and not okay. Does that mean that they should go to jail? I guess we'll find out in the lawsuit. I'm curious what you think in the comment section down below, and we'll talk to you again real soon.